Thank you very much, Ken Workington. Welcome, everybody, to the Big M. And yes, indeed, we are joined by trotting and pacing master Jimmy Takter, who trains the top story in horse racing right now. See you at Peelers, undefeated in 18 starts, the crack 3-year-old filly. At what point last year did you realize she was pretty special?
Well, I tell you the truth, I mean, it was really took me her first baby race. I mean, she was brushing home, I think, 26-2 last quarter, and the way she did it, I mean, she really showed that she was something really, really special then. I mean, she was good training down, but, you know, that brush she showed me that day and the willingness, you know, I mean, it was just a special feeling to see.
You ended your season perfectly, winning the Breeders' Crown over at Pocono. Did she change much over the winter? Did she grow much, fill out much?
Yeah, she put up, you know, I mean, she grew a couple inches and filled out quite a bit, so she's a larger size now, and you know, she's more of a horse now. I mean, she wasn't that big last year, and she's filled out great, you know, she looked good.
Her most recent win was Saturday night in the Fan Hanover at Mohawk. Let's roll in the last 30 seconds of the race and the stretch. Now, you're on the lead here. Tim Tetrick with Crispy Apple coming at you. What are your thoughts watching this unfold?
Well, actually, I was watching this on my iPhone. I was up in Pocono that night, so, well, you know, I got a little bit, of course, you know, when you get nervous in those big races, but Crispy Apple come outside, but when she kick in that brush, you know, which she have, that very few horses have, I mean, that's... it's just an unbelievable feeling.
Now, you're on record as saying you are seriously considering racing in the Little Brown Jug at Delaware, Ohio against the Colts. Is the half-mile track the great equalizer for her, a filly against the boys?
Well, I don't think it's... I think she definitely would be a compatible horse even against the boys on a mile track. I mean, it's like Brian said, she's definitely the best pacing colt he driving. You know, I mean, she's... but it's going to take a lot out of her, and... you got to be a little bit cautious. You don't want to be too greedy because, you know, you got to cherish what you got. And, I mean, race her against the Colts in the jug, she definitely have to be on really 100% target, you know, to go out there. And it's something that I think she's capable to do.
How big an edge is it that she races in the New York Sire Stakes on a regular basis? And not that the racing is easy, because there's very fast horses in New York, but you really don't have to stretch her out to the max, do you?
Well, you know, like you said, you know, New York Phillies was really tough last year. It wasn't like she was racing against nothing. I mean, it was the group they have, the 3-year-old Phillies, is very good. So all respect to them. But it's, you know, a horse that keep on winning, and the way she did it, it built a heck of a confidence. I mean, you know, this filly, she don't know anything else, you know. I mean, it's a part of her life to win the races. And I noticed that even in training, I mean, you know, it's like, if she don't get first up, you know, I mean, by the wire, I mean, you know, something is wrong there. You know, she understands that she got to be first.
Now, all of us here at the Meadowlands are dying for you guys to supplement her to the Meadowlands pace. What do we have to do to twist your arm to get that done? Any chance?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not just the money. It's $100,000 supplementary fee for it, and sure it would be a great story for the sport. But I'm scared that it's going to take a lot out of her. I mean. You know, these horses are pretty good horses. They're going to be able to go 48 speed here and maybe better. And it's going to take a little bit out of her, probably.
Will we see her on pace night in the Tarport Hat, perhaps? I know she's eligible.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided the schedule. I don't want to plan too far ahead. She raced 5 weeks in a row, which is extremely tough program for any horse. And I jogged her this morning. She's back where she's supposed to. She felt actually ready to be put in box again and all. But Vernon be her next start, I believe, is July 9th. So she get a couple weeks off here.
Now, last year, Jim Morrill drove her on a regular basis. He comes back from his 9-month suspension, I think, next month. You've used Marcus Johansson in New York, Brian Sears, of course, up in Canada. Will Morrill get a chance to drive her again, or have you not decided?
I haven't decided that. I mean, you know, Marcus has been part of with the horse all the time, you know, and he get along very good with her, and he give me information I need for her, and we decided that Brian gonna drive her on the big track, on the big races, and so at this point I cannot answer that, but it looks like we're going to stick with Brian on that.
So we switch to trotters, and we switch to your top Hambletonian threat, Pastor Stephen, who we'll see Saturday night in the Earl Beale at Pocono. 3 starts this year, 3 impressive wins, including 1 against older horses. He's come back super, hasn't he?
Yeah, he came back really good. He was he was really tough. The last two starts, I was very impressed over him. I mean, he raced against older horses in first week up there in Pocono and came far back, and he showed that willingness to win. When he get the hold of them, he just got to go by them. That's make him a unique horse, I mean, even the last start now, and he was coming from behind, and he made it easy.
Well, let's roll in his elimination win. We've got the last 30 seconds of it at Pocono. And one of the cool things this year, you've been able, the last two starts, to race him from off the pace, and you've said before that he likes a target to track.
Yeah, I mean, he always been racing from behind, except the start he did for Palone in Meadows this year. He cut the mile. He changed a lot that he can do that. Before he couldn't do that. He was immature for doing that, but I believe that if he can race a horse from behind, they're going to make him last longer in this game.
And the final is not going to be easy because it was an open draw. You end up with post 8. Trond had the other two elim winners, and they draw post 1 and 2. I still think you have the best horse, but it makes the task a little tougher.
Well, I mean, it's they have open draw in this race, and that's the condition. And you get 8 posts, you get penalized. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was 5 or 6, 7, But, this horse is such a tough horse. He's a good closer. Pace going to be probably high. It's a $500,000 race. I got another horse in there, that's also a very fast horse. The race really good. He start leader of the gang. So the pace going to be good in that race. And but you have to do a little harder, I mean, 8 hole gonna be outside most likely in 3 turns, So that's gonna be tough.
And Pastor Stephen, of course, is named after the pastor at your Presbyterian church down in Heightstown, and you have a charity going, building some churches down in Africa, or doing some charity work involved with Pastor Stephen. Tell us about that.
Correction is Allentown, not Heightstown.
Oh, Allentown. Well, that's close.
Yeah,
that's
it's
close. Yeah.
This, we've been involved with our church for a good 20 years now, and it's a lovely church in Allentown, and that's why I named this horse after Pastor Stephen. And I mean, such a great guy, done so much for my family, and been a good friend. So our church, last 2 years, been involved with in Africa. Our pastor was spending a whole year down there, and he sent me a documentary of what they accomplished down there. And I got approached if I, want to do something for, regarding the horse Pastor Stephen. And Mr. Fielding and George Eagle and my wife decided that they're going to give a portion of his earnings into the church, and it's going to be very nice.
And if anybody wants to find out more about that, the website, I believe, is villageinpartnership.com, if I'm not mistaken.
.org.
.org. Okay,
Yeah.
Villagesinpartnership.org. Check it out. We'll have more on that on Pastor Stephen, possibly on our website, and some features coming up later on. Let me get some quick thoughts on some of the other 3-year-olds. Man of Many Missions. How do you think he's come back?
The horse show, we all know he's very fast. I mean, he raced okay, I thought, last start, but he's looked like he had like a little bump. He haven't found his gait yet, but the ability is tremendous on that horse. He's probably as fast as anyone out there.
Blue Porsche kind of struggled in his elim, I thought, for the good times. Looked great in the final.
Yeah, he raced tremendous in the final. I agree with you. Elimination, he didn't look good, but he's a good, honest horse. I mean, he's a tough horse. I mean, a guy like Blair, he's going to probably make sure that horse is going to be sharpy in August.
Now, don't take offense at this, but Chris Dream, the 3-year-old filly, I've thought she looks like Moneymaker. What are your impressions of her?
Well, maybe she had that easy gait. I mean, which Moneymaker? Moneymaker had more action up front than Christine, but I have to agree. This is one of the more impressive 3-year-old trotting fillies. I saw her last year as a 2-year-old. She was just fantastic. She's really, really special, that horse.
Speaking of 2-year-olds, we've got to take a look at your starters tonight. Let's start in the 4th race. You've got number 5, Gordo Hall. He's a Tom Ridge. You put the trotting hobbles on him recently. What do you think of him?
He have a lot of ability. Unfortunately, this horse is his worst enemy. I mean, he's really, really tough to work with. I mean, he had a little bad luck last year. He got stuck on the truck and the trailer for a good 4 hours in 100 degrees weather last year, and they really made him a little bit change his attitude a lot. So speed-wise, I think he's really fast, that he can win the race, but I wouldn't count too much on him right now.
And That's Not My Name, the Mary Annabelle champ a year ago. You're going to drive her yourself in the 6th race from post 3. Ironic that you faced the Peter Houghton winner, the Lindy Reserve, who got moved up via DQ when Pastor Stephen was taken down. Are you over that DQ yet?
Well, I mean, judges have a tough job. They got to make decisions. They have so much time to do it, and I thought they were definitely wrong, and I think 90% of the people that watching races thought so too, but that's behind my back now. That's not my name. I mean, she's been tough, I mean, I drive her myself tonight. I mean, John, Campbell been driving her all along, and she's tough to drive a little bit, and I think the best shot is me driving her tonight. She qualified really, really good last week, so I expect her to do well.
All right, we have one last question for you, Jimmy. Take a look at the TV monitor here. You were in the winner's circle in December wearing this hat. Now, that looks like an Australian cowboy hat or a sheep herder's hat or something from the Hatfields and McCoys. What's the story with that hat?
Well, that's a nice hat. Do you like the hat?
Yes, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thought it looked really
There's
good.
no story behind the hat. I mean, I think I bought it in Caribbean somewhere when it was hot, and it was nice.
Okay, well, Jimmy Takter, thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck with See You at Peelers, Pastor Stephen and the Beal this weekend, and tonight driving. Appreciate a few minutes of your time.
Thank you very much, Sam.
Bob Hollywood Hayden waiting in the wings. We'll be right back with racing from the Meadowlands. Stay tuned.